Hello everybody. Today's topic is the sperm and spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis is the process by which haploid spermatozoa or sperm develops from the germ cell in the seminiferous tubules of the testes. Do you remember about the male reproductive system? There we have discussed about the testes and the epididymis. This part is the testis and this is epididymis. In the video on oogenesis, we have discussed that the primitive germ cells are the origin of oogonia. And here the same primitive germ cells, they are the origin of spermatogonia. The primitive or primordial germ cells are there in the skin layer of yolk sac that we have already discussed, and from there they get transferred to the seminiferous tubule in the form of spermatogonia. If you take the cross section of a seminiferous tubule, this is the diagram. This outer layer after basal lamina, there is one layer called basal lamina. After this is the layer of spermatogonia. These are the layers of spermatocytes, spermatids and spermatozoa. Spermatozoa are in the lumen, that is at the center. And the process of conversion of spermatogonia to spermatozoa is known as spermatogenesis. This process we are going to discuss in detail. Spermatogonia are of two types, type A and type B. In type A there are two subtypes, AD and AP. AD is with dark nucleus and AP is with plain nucleus. AD acts as a reserve cell and they usually do not undergo active mitosis. Type A with pale nucleus, they undergo active mitosis and form type B cells. This type B cells gives rise to primary spermatocytes. So a diploid spermatogonium type B divides mitotically and gives rise to two primary spermatocytes. These primary spermatocytes subsequently undergo meiosis and produce two haploid secondary spermatocytes. This whole process is known as spermatocytogenesis. It is easy to remember the names because spermatocytes are formed, so the name is spermatocytogenesis. Next step is the division of these secondary spermatocytes into spermatids. They divide again mitotically, that is meiosis 2. Meiosis 2 is just like mitosis, so all N will be here. I should write all N. This whole conversion process is known as spermatidogenesis. The final step is known as the spermiogenesis, which sees the maturation of spermatids into mature spermatozoa or sperms. Here the spermatids are more or less circular cell and they have a nucleus, Golgi apparatus, centriole and mitochondria. All these organelles take part in forming the spermatozoa or spermatozoon. The process of spermiogenesis can be divided into four parts. The first one is the Golgi phase. Second one is the cap phase. Third one is the tail phase. And the last one is the maturation phase. In Golgi phase, the round spermatids, they start developing polarity. It forms a head part at one end. Let's draw them to have a clear understanding. This is your spermatid, more or less symmetrical. It has a nucleus and Golgi apparatus, mitochondria and other organelles. It also has centriole part. The Golgi apparatus, the Golgi part will come over here on the nucleus and make a thin cover and form acrosome. All these we will discuss in detail. This is nucleus. Centriole will come over here and mitochondria. Next, a clear head will form. This is the acrosome part. Let me draw the nucleus. And all mitochondria, they gather together in the midsection and form a spiral structure. A thick rod-like structure will start forming, that is known as axoneme, and around these mitochondria gather and start forming spiral. Next, all the structures will be more distinguished. Now it is going to take the shape of a spermatozoa. This is thick axoneme and spirals of mitochondria in the midsection. This is the extracytoplasm, which is not required. Next is the maturation phase, and that is the complete spermatozoa. The excess cytoplasm is phagocytosed by Sertoli cell. So this is the diagram of spermiogenesis. Hope it is clear to you now. So we have discussed this process of spermatogenesis. The steps are spermatocytogenesis, then spermatidogenesis and spermiogenesis. This non-motile spermatozoa then are transported through rhatitestis to epididymis. In the epididymis, they become more mature, they become motile, and they are now capable of fertilization. After this spermatogenesis, now we will discuss the structure of sperm in detail. The human sperm cells can be divided into 4 parts: head, midpiece, tail, and the end piece. The head contains a nucleus. This is the nucleus. It has densely coiled chromatin fiber. This head is surrounded anteriorly by a thin sac-like structure known as acrosome. And the cap part of this thin sac is known as Gallia capitis. We have seen that this acrosome is a product of Golgi apparatus. It is located just under the plasma membrane and just above the nucleus. As the sperm approaches the zona pellucida of the egg, then this acrosome fuses with the plasma membrane of the sperm head, exposing the contents of the chromosome. This contents contains numerous enzymes for binding to the egg cell membrane. The midpiece or the neck portion contains 2 types of centriole, proximal centriole and distal centriole. Among these 2 centrioles, this proximal centriole enters into the egg during fertilization. The distal centriole gives rise to the axial filament, which forms the tail part. Let us again revise. The nucleus of the sperm cell contains very densely coiled chromatin fiber. And this acrosome is a sac which is placed anteriorly just above the nucleus. The cap-like portion is known as Gallia capitis. And there are 2 centrioles. One is proximal centriole and one is distal centriole. These two centrals are perpendicular to each other. This proximal one helps at the time of fertilization of the egg and it supplies the centriole and microtubule. The distal centriole forms the axial fiber of the tail. Here in the meat piece around this axis there is a spiral of mitochondria. It is actually a spiral kind of structure. It is known as Nebenker. It is used for ATP production and ATP is required for the journey through the female cervix, uterus and uterine tubes, etc. The tail, also known as the flagellum, executes the movement that propel the sperm cells. This rod-like structure which is passing through the meat piece and through the tail, it is formed by distal centriole and it is known as axoneme. We have seen that the spermatids transform and mature into spermatozoa. This is the structure. But they are non-motile in seminiferous tubule. These non-motile spermatozoa are transported to the epididymis. In the epididymis, they gain motility and they become capable of fertilization. Like female reproductive system, the male reproductive system is also controlled by hormones. And let us now discuss this. At the onset of puberty, hypothalamus starts releasing GnRH, that is gonadotropic releasing hormone. The high pulses of GnRH stimulates the pituitary gland, and from this anterior part, A is anterior, P is posterior. From the anterior part, LH, luteinizing hormone, and FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, start secreting. FSH enters the testes, specifically in the seminiferous tubule, and stimulates Sertoli cells. In response, Sertoli cells start releasing hormones to nourish the sperm cells. There are three hormones. Inhibin, estradiol, that is estrogen. Estradiol is a part of estrogen, and androgen binding protein also it secretes, that is known as ABP. LH also enters the testes and it stimulates the Leydig cells which surrounds the seminiferous tubule. And the Leydig cells in response release testosterone, responsible for developing the secondary sexual characteristics in male during adolescence. And it also stimulates spermatogenesis. If the level of testosterone rises, then a negative feedback system occurs, which gives the negative feedback to hypothalamus and also to pituitary, and the secretion of GnRH, LH reduce. Inhibin and estradiol secreted by Sertoli cells also give negative feedback to pituitary to reduce the level of FSH. When the number of sperm cells are reduced, then the inhibin and estradiol secretion also reduces and negative feedback effect reduces. This ABP released by the Sertoli cells is required for the transport of testosterone. And ABP transport testosterone to epididymis where the maturation of sperm cells happens. Hope spermatogenesis process and the structure of the sperm both are clear to you now. If you like this video, please like it, share it and subscribe to our channel. And thank you for watching.